Looks good. All right. Yes, lucky shirt, bringing it back. Feeling big this week. Feeling real big. Welcome to the stream. Happy Sunday. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for checking us out. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this fine program. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, I no longer have to use the PC. I can just use iPad or phone. Back to the old days, which would be awesome. Not go nuts on the Dubs just yet. It's preseason. Let's not go nuts on the Dubs just yet. But certainly better than last year, considering. So here's where we're at. Couple teasers. First off, today is a huge day for teasers. Tampa, Kansas City, New Orleans, Tennessee, Green Bay. 5 teams all in play for teasers today. And that's just the favorites coming down. Chicago going up, the Giants going up. A lot of great teaser options on the board today. Week 14 in the NFL. Can't believe we're already here. A reminder that the next stream is this afternoon. When the last afternoon game clears, I have a feeling, let me just see here what time they start. Yeah, Atlanta Chargers. That just has to be the last game. Probably has to go to overtime. Who knows how it ends? I want to bet. I'm going to, spoiler alert, I don't have anything on that game yet. I feel like I have to be involved in that game. I feel like I have to be. Chargers Falcons is just putting those two together this year with the way they've played football. So when the last afternoon game goes final, we're going live again to get set for Steelers Bills. And then we're back tomorrow, Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific to preview the game, which is Ravens and Browns. Interesting card today. I love it, which could be a disaster. A lot of action. I actually said in the teaser here I had 8 plays. I actually have 9. I added a 9th one at the last second because I forgot how much I liked it when I wrote it up earlier in the week. And then I was putting everything together, and I was like, I feel like I'm light. And I was light. I was absolutely light. So we're going to get to the picks in a sec. We know when the next shows are coming up. You got 8 road favorites today. 8 teams are laying points on the road. What can go wrong there? Massive ticket counts in favor of some of these favorites. Green Bay laying points on the road at Detroit, Kansas City, just big ticket counts. It could be, this isn't going to be a half day. This is either going to be an extraordinary day for the books, or the books are going to get their teeth kicked in, because the public's going to want to lay the points with Kansas City. They're going to want to lay it with Seattle, New Orleans, Green Bay, probably Tennessee against Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, maybe, although Minnesota's been playing well. But like ultimately, a lot of public sides. So that's what we're looking for today, right? So we got a lot of spots here. We got 3 sides, 3 teasers, 3 props. Holy shit, I wasn't even planning that. Unbelievable. 3 sides, 3 teasers, 3 props. I should do 3 totals just for the sake of doing totals. So that's where we're at. The update from Thursday's stream. Started strong, ended crappy. 5 picks, we went 3-2. We nailed that Thursday night game. We had the Rams winner. We had the under winner. We had Jared Goff under 35.5 passing attempts winner. So I'm thinking, here we go. We're going to get something going here. We're going to get something going. We're going to roll through college. We're going to kill Sunday. And then we're going to start getting this thing back to even. And I had the Army over like an asshole. Never a shot. I should have just followed that trend. I don't know what I was thinking there. And Baylor, who actually was even worse than the Army-Navy total. Literally, you didn't think it could be worse than playing the Army-Navy over until the Baylor game when they lost by like 40. They were never in it. I think they scored a field goal. I had a big speech about how they were going to come to play and Oklahoma State wasn't. Good speech if it had been the exact opposite of what I had said. So 3-2. On the season, 111 wins, 140 defeats, 1 tie. 29 games under. Jesus Christ. I'm going to have like 1,000 Super Bowl bets to try to even this thing out. All right. So let's start with some injuries here. Boom. Guys out today. DJ Moore, AJ Boye, the corner for the Denver Broncos, Bryce Callahan, David Johnson again. That Bill O'Brien trade is going to go down as one of the absolute worst of all time. Myles Gaskin. If you look at the Miami Dolphins running back platoon, everybody is out. Gaskin and Breida were placed on the COVID list. Running backs in Miami, that's a problem too, because if you want a shot at beating Kansas City, what are you going to do? You're going to get into an aerial fight with them with Tua, who ranks like 29th in completion percentage and like 26th in yards per attempt. Like, that's not going to work. You need to run the ball and keep Mahomes on the sideline. You also need to help keep your defense fresh. A lot of stress on the Miami defense today. Boo, boo, boo. Kenny Golladay out again for the Lions. Big surprise. Jeff Okuda's out again for the Lions. They should have drafted Herbert and started that era. Denzel Mims is out for the Jets. One of the reasons that Seattle's up to 16 in that game. Julio Jones out again. Antonio Gibson out for Washington. Joe Hayden is out tonight for the Steelers. We'll talk about that more later. That Steeler defense is missing quite a few pieces. So that'll be a discussion we get to later. First, I didn't like you, but I do now. I'll take it. Thank you. I'll take it. As I just randomly read off the stream while going in and out on all this stuff. All right, so that's – damn, I didn't want to hit that button. That was the wrong one. Ezekiel Elliott is going to play against Cincinnati. He is dealing with a calf bruise. Stafford and DeAndre Swift are expected to go against the Packers. Swift could be huge. That's the vulnerability of Green Bay, is the run defense. T. Higgins, Bengal wide receiver, expected to play. Brandon Cooks, Kiki Kute, each questionable, both expected to play according to Schefter. Kyle Rudolph not expected to play against Tampa. Josh Jacobs expected to play for the Raiders. That's big. That's going to come up in a little bit. Kenyon Drake expected to play against the Giants. Christian McCaffrey out again. I wouldn't play him all the rest of the season. All right, so those are your injuries. Let's go through line moves, and then we'll do picks. So I'm going to give you the look-ahead line, and then I'm going to follow the look-ahead line, which we could go with the current line. Make sure we are up to date on all of this, and it appears that we are. All right, Green Bay was 7, laying 7 at Detroit on the look-ahead line. Depends on where you look. It's now up to 8 or 7.5. It's kind of going back and forth. You're getting over money coming in there as well. And this is a great teaser play. Green Bay is one of several teams that's good for a teaser today. Tennessee was a 9.5-point favorite on the look-ahead line against Jacksonville. Tennessee got smoked by Cleveland. That's down to 7.5. It's held there pretty much all week. Tennessee, another good teaser play in my opinion. Dallas, a 3.5-point favorite on the look-ahead line. Little bit of Cincinnati money has moved that down to 3. How often does a 9-loss team lay 3 points on the road? Shows you where the Bengals are. Arizona was laying 3 on the look-ahead line against the Giants. This one's been fascinating. So it was Arizona -3 on the look-ahead. It's Arizona 3 now, but it had moved really close to the pickup. And Nick Bogdanovich, who's the head guy at Caesars William Hill, was talking about how if Daniel Jones plays, he thinks the Giants are going to be the favorite. It never happened. Nick's a smart guy. I'm not knocking him in any way, shape, or form. That was an interesting tip he gave out earlier in the week. We're going to talk more about that game in a little bit. And a reminder, if there's any games I pick or discuss that, or that I don't discuss that you're interested in, that's what we use the chat for at the end. Houston was a 1.5-point favorite on the look-ahead line against Chicago. It's been at 1.5 like all week. Suddenly some Bears money just started showing up. I don't have any pick in that game. I would say that if the wins are still supposed to be somewhat high, and we might as well check this out because it might be worth at least discussing for a minute, that they're going to have to run the ball in that game. The win forecast was supposed to be relatively high. And if that's the case, two teams trying to run, Houston's run defense is awful. Let's go to 1 p.m. No, win's not really a problem there. All right, that was a forecast from earlier in the week, but not right now. All right, definitely not getting involved in that game. How do you bet the Bears in any situation? How do you bet Houston in any situation? Another game I talked about on Thursday. Carolina was laying 4 on the look-ahead line against Denver. They're still laying 4. I immediately crossed this game off the list. I will not watch a second of this game. I will not wager a penny on this game. There is absolutely no way whatsoever I'm getting involved there. I don't know what the hell's going on with those two teams. I don't seem to like Denver games in general. I don't think I've played many of them this season. I'm just out on it. That's one of those games. Every weekend I have one or two games like that. It's just an X right from the beginning. I'm like, I'm not even going to bother looking into this. If I get a tip, maybe, but that's it. Tampa Bay was a 6.5-point favorite over Minnesota on the look ahead. That's up to 7. I see some spots that are back down to 6.5. I see one spot that's at 7.5. Interesting. Little over money hitting the market today as well. The Arizona Giants game, by the way, little over money there. And the Carolina game, some under money is coming in. Kansas City was a 7.5-point favorite at Miami. That is either 7 or 7.5, depending on where you look. Some under money coming in that game as well. Thought process is that Miami's not going to score a whole lot of points in that game. Indianapolis was a 2.5-point favorite on the road against the Raiders. It got up to 3 for a couple days and just sat there until about an hour ago. And now the 2.5s are popping up. So Raider money is hitting the market now. I have a feeling that's going to be a pros versus Joes game where the pros are going to side with the Raiders and the Joes are going to side with the Colts. I've got a pick on that. That's coming up in a couple moments. Seattle was a 15-point favorite on the look ahead. They went out and they lost to the Giants. It dropped down to 13.5, and then it just came rocketing back up. It's now 16.5. There is so much Seahawks money coming in. This thing got to 14 a couple days ago, I think it was. 14.5, 15, 16.5. It might get all the way to 17. Shout out the Jets. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. Atlanta and the Chargers. So this was a pick 'em. It's now Chargers minus 1.5, but not before Atlanta got up as high as -2. They may have even been 2.5. And then Julio Jones was ruled out, and then Charger money started coming in. Like I said, those two are meant for one another. That game can only be spectacular. That's it. That's the only option for that game. The Saints were a 6.5-point favorite on the look-ahead line at Philadelphia. That is now at 8, with some spots at 7.5. So it's been Saints money, no surprise there. Jalen Hurts getting his first start. The Niners were a 4.5-point favorite against Washington. Antonio Gibson out for the Redskins. Didn't finish it. Out for Washington today. But that line is down to 3. After the Niners got rolled by Buffalo, wasn't a whole lot of faith in the betting market in San Francisco coming off that game. All right. Trying to keep up with the stream as well. Let's do some picks. So we got 9 here. I'm going to start with the sides. Then I'm going to do the props. Then I'm going to do the teasers. Right out of the gate, Tampa Bay -7. Wish we could have talked about this earlier. I think I talked about this on Thursday and said it was going to be my favorite play at 6.5. We're giving it out now. We'll score it at 7, obviously. Variety of factors here. This is my favorite play. I'm starting with the favorite play of the week. So Tampa's coming off their bye week, late bye week. Bruce Arians, the head coach, for a few weeks leading into the bye, was talking about how tired his team looked, how they needed the bye, how they didn't have a bye, and how they were getting tired. This was so late in the season. And we saw that against the Rams. We saw it against the Chiefs. Lifeless, lethargic. They were peaking at one point in about the midpoint of the season. I want to say maybe like round 6. They really started playing well. And then they played some good teams, and they fell off a cliff. They have not been sharp at all. They covered against Kansas City, but they got down so early in that game that you go back on that and you're like, oh, that's a close game. It's not a close game. Had Kansas City, very lucky to get that cover, but that's neither here nor there. So this bye came at the perfect time for this team. The rest, the health, everything about that I love. In addition, they've got a great schedule the rest of the way out. They got this game against Minnesota. They got 2 with Atlanta, and they got 1 with Detroit. They can run the table. They're not going to catch the Saints, but they can grab the 5 seed and then hit the road to play either the Giants or Washington in the opening round of the playoffs. And that can set you up well for the divisional round. So it's not that bad, the situation for Tampa Bay. Brady, for his career, is 73% against the spread when coming off a loss, which he is. So that's another trend pointing in the right direction. I also think there's an overvalue element to the Vikings at the moment. People will tell you they're peaking at the right time. Vikings playing good football right now. They've won 5 of 6. Let's look at those games. 5 of 6, huh? They beat Detroit, Chicago, Carolina, and last week needed overtime to get by Jacksonville. That's 4. They did beat Green Bay. But the Vikings had 2 weeks to get ready for that game. They were coming off the bye, and they run the ball well. And that was a great opportunity to get Dalvin Cook going against a bad Packer run defense. So it's a great spot for Minnesota. So they win that game. I'll give them that. But they beat Detroit, Chicago, Carolina, and Jacksonville in overtime. Oh, by the way, the loss was against Dallas. So they're handling their business. Also, don't trust the defense at all. And I think that's going to be the key to this game is the defense on both sides. Minnesota's defense ranks 21st or worst in opponent yards per play, in takeaways, in sacks. That's not the blueprint for a team that beats Tom Brady. We've seen that this year. We've seen teams beat Tom Brady. The Rams, the Saints, the Chiefs. Rams and Saints got a great interior push on him. It's not really what Minnesota does. They're not a good defense this season under Mike Zimmer. They normally are, but not this year. So we got a rested team. You got a hungry team. You got a quarterback who plays really well coming off a loss and a bye. You got a Minnesota team that's not very good defensively. I think they're a bit overvalued. And I think Kirk Cousins is going to be under duress. A lot of people point to this Minnesota offense. They're like, they're good. Yeah, Jefferson's awesome. Thielen's awesome. Cook is awesome. I think Tampa Bay is going to be number 1 right out of the gate. Buccaneers -7 against the Vikings. Favorite pick of the week. You're going to hear more about that game in a little bit. Game number 2, I am going to take the New York Giants. Whoa, Green Bay just went to 9. Oh, teaser protection. So many people are teasing them. They bumped it all the way up. Look at that. I should have talked faster. That derailed something I want to do. Damn you. All right. I'm going to have to adjust that in a little bit. Moneyline parlay. I mean, if you want to do a moneyline parlay, you might as well just do Tampa, Green Bay, Kansas City, Tennessee, and New Orleans. Might as well mix and match those boys. All right, so we did Tampa Bay. Game number 2 is going to be Giants +3. I am going to take the Giants over the Cardinals today. I want to bring up some notes here, which I believe I failed to do earlier on this specific game. I wrote about this for ESPN Chalk. My picks there suck. Where is it? Great TV as everyone just sits there watching some idiot looking for a Microsoft Word document. Okay, so are the Cardinals good? Let's start with that. Are they a good football team? Yes or no? Because they started 5-2. 5-2 straight up, 5-2 against the spread, and there were those whispers about Kyler Murray possibly being an MVP candidate. Kyler Murray's been nasty, no doubt. The Cardinals have not been good as of late. They haven't been good at all. Their last 5, they're 1-4 straight up. They're 0-5 against the spread. So I think we have this image in our mind of the Cardinals from early in the season, and we think this is a pretty good football team with a really good quarterback. I like Kyler Murray. He's heading in the right direction. He's legit. But he hasn't been playing that great, and his team hasn't been playing that great. And I don't trust his coach at all, Kingsbury, with key decisions. Their defense has given up 28 or more in 5 of their last 6 outings, and Murray is still playing with that banged-up shoulder. There's not a whole lot to like there. And at the same time, that team's laying 3 in New York against the Giants. So I think we have this image of the Cardinals that they're better than they are because we remember early in the season. We forget about the fact that they're 1-4 over their last 5, 0-5 against the spread in their last 5, with a banged-up quarterback and a questionable coach. Meanwhile, we have this image in our mind of the Giants not being very good at the beginning of the season, so we just kind of stick with it. Giants haven't been that bad. In fact, defensively, they've been rock solid. 4 straight games where they held their opponent to 20 or fewer points. They are a defense that ranks tied for 3rd in takeaways, 8th in sacks, 9th in scoring defense, 10th in total defense. The Giants have been kind of solid, and no one's really talking about them, especially on the defensive end. Meanwhile, the Cardinals haven't been good, but we're still referring to them like a good team. And they're laying 3 here on the road. I don't like it. I don't like that at all for Arizona. I'm playing New York. I'm not going to be surprised if they win this game outright. Joe Judge and the Giants have gotten better as the season's gone on, especially the defense. Arizona has gotten worse as the season's gone on, especially the offense. Murray can only do so much, and I don't think Kingsbury's going to be better than Joe Judge. I don't know much about Joe Judge yet. It's his first season as a head coach, but this is the 2nd year of Kingsbury, and I remember watching him at Texas Tech. He didn't do anything with Patrick Mahomes. He didn't do anything at Texas Tech. And he hasn't done anything in Arizona. He can scheme up some plays. He can call stays. The guy's always kicking. That's that. Giants +3. 9-2. Don't be surprised if they win that game outright. Game number 3, Pros versus Joes. I talked about this. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with the Colts over the Raiders. I don't feel great about it. I think the Pros are going to be playing the Raiders. I think they played them at +3. And I think, schlubs like me are going to be playing the Colts. But there's a couple reasons here. I could be wrong on this. The Raiders look like they're running out of gas. And if it was just a couple game sample, you could say, you don't know what you're talking about. And I might not. But I saw this last year. We all saw it last year with the Raiders. They completely ran out of gas in the second half of the season. Last year, they were 6-4 to start, and they went 1-5 down the stretch. And that 1-5 record down the stretch included, and I know I sound like a broken record because I've been talking about this everywhere, it included a horrific loss against the Jaguars at the Coliseum in the final game ever for the Raiders as the Oakland Raiders at the Coliseum. That was disgraceful. It was absolutely disgraceful. That was when I was working in the Bay. Oakland and Raider fans deserved a lot better than that. That was a damn embarrassment. Now, I hate to rehash it, but they went 1-5 down the stretch in that situation, right? Now we're starting to see it again. Raiders started 6-3, looking good. And what's happened since that 6-3 start, right? 6-3 could be a playoff team. They played the Chiefs again, and they lost a really competitive game. It's one of the best games I've ever seen the Raiders play, and it was a losing effort, but it was a great game. But then they went and got shellacked at Atlanta. I don't know why I emphasize like that. Atlanta. Regardless. Shellacked. And then they went to the Jets and should have lost that game. Greg Williams gave them a gift in that game. They should have lost. It should be a 3-game losing streak. And that's the difference between a great coach and any other sort of coach. You don't let the losses pile up, right? You have to be able to put things in the rearview mirror, live day by day. They lost that game to Kansas City, and it carried over to Atlanta, and that performance carried over to the Jets. And I know they won that game. Be real. Even Raiders fans are smart enough to understand how that played out at the end there. They shouldn't have won that game. You should be on a 3-game losing streak. And what would this spread be if they had lost that game? It ain't what it is right now. Meanwhile, here's the Colts. Everyone always says the same thing. Oh, Phillip Rivers sucks. Phillip Rivers sucks. Yeah, kind of. But at the same time, the Raiders, let's get to this here. The Raider defense, 29th in sacks, 28th in scoring defense, 21st in opponent yards per play, 19th in takeaways. Phillip Rivers doesn't play well against good, fast defenses. This is not a good defense. This is not a fast defense. This is the type of matchup that suits Rivers quite nicely. And I get that Indianapolis defense, which has played very well this season, at my back as well. I may be a sucker with it, but I am going to lay the 2.5. I am playing the Indianapolis Colts. All right, so those are the 3 sides. Tampa -7, Giants +3, Colts -2.5. 3 props. Number 1, we're going to go back to that Arizona-New York game. Kyler Murray under 34.5 rushing yards. Murray under 34.5 rushing yards. Now, the reason for this is twofold. First, he's not running as much as of late. He banged up that shoulder, and the running is way, way down. First 9 games this season, Murray was running the ball 9.6 times per game. 9.6 carries per game. In the last 3 games, 5 carries per game. It's almost cut in half. From 9.6 carries per game to 5 carries per game. Translation, he's not running as much. He's hurt. They're not calling as many runs for him. He's not scrambling as much. In fact, over the last 3 games, he's only averaging 20 rushing yards per game. So again, big number based on things we saw earlier in the season, but not what we've seen as of late. In addition, the Giants have done very well defending opposing quarterbacks when it comes to the run. There are only 2 teams in the NFL. Let's see if anyone can guess this. 2 teams in the NFL that have given up fewer rushing yards to opposing quarterbacks this season. Who are they? The Giants ranked 3rd. They've only given up 107 total yards all year to opposing quarterbacks when running. 107 yards all season combined, all the quarterbacks they've played combined rushing against them, 107 total yards. Who are the two teams that have done better? Any guesses? Any guesses at all? No one's really here to play a guessing game. It would be the Saints and, believe it or not, the Texans. So combination of factors. One, Murray isn't running as much. He's not having as much success running. They're not calling as many runs for him. And the Giants defend running quarterbacks very well. Kyler Murray under 34.5 rushing yards. That's play number 4. Prop number 1. Number 2, old reliable. Andy Dalton, yes, to throw an interception, minus 150. We'll score that as a loss and a half, obviously, if we miss it. Not going to go ahead laying huge juice, counting that the same as a win. All right? So keep that one in mind. I've been playing this almost every week. Dalton, I think, has made 5 starts this year. He has thrown at least 1 INT in every start he's made. Every single start he's made, he's thrown at least 1 INT. Every single one. Blake Martinez, I believe, is expected to play today. And yes, that is an important player. Let's go ahead and see if there's anything updating that. Blake Martinez, because that's key to the Giants' defense. Game time decisions. Okay. He is active. Depends on how he feels in the morning. Okay, so that's where we're at there. All right, so back to the Dalton INT. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. I am just, since he has the least takeaways, like the Dalton INT, but that worries me. Understood. It's Cincinnati, but it's also Andy Dalton. Revenge game for Dalton, going back to play his old team. I said I'm good. This isn't a logical bet. I'm going to be very clear about this. I've been playing this for about 4 straight weeks. It's been hilarious, and I've said that I'm going to just keep riding this train. That's where I'm at. If you don't want to jump on this train, completely understandable. I'm not going to give you a great breakdown of how Cincinnati's defense is going to confuse Dalton and how he's going to make a mistake. I just bet him to throw INTs, and he throws INTs. I just need one. That's his jam. Dalton to throw an INT, yes, minus 150. Prop number 2. Prop number 3, going back to that Tampa game, Kirk Cousins under 276.5 passing yards. That was the one that I wrote up earlier in the week that I forgot to add until the last second before the show started. So, where is this? Did I close the wrong damn thing? Idiot. What an absolute idiot. Acting like it's the first time I've ever done this. All right, so Cousins. Cousins has thrown for 290 or more yards in 4 straight games. He's been red hot, right? But let's look at the defenses he's done that against. He's played Dallas. He's played Carolina. He's played Jacksonville. He should be lighting those teams up. He should absolutely light them up. And because he's been lighting up bad defenses with big numbers, I think this number is inflated at 276.5. That's why we're playing the under. Tampa's off the bye, like we said, healthy, rested, ready to go at home. They're giving up 256 passing yards a game this season. So this is 20 more than the average. So keep that in mind. Tampa also ranks 6th in sacks. And my prediction for this game is that the defense is going to be very aggressive against him. Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, I think he's coming right at Cousins. I think they're going to rattle him early, shake him up early, and he's going to make some bad decisions. In fact, if you can find a will Kirk Cousins throw an INT prop, I'd play that one as well. We're adding a bet. We are adding a bet right now. I apologize to everyone for having to wait through this. I want to get an accurate number, but we are adding that bet. He is going to throw a pick today. Find the game. Here it is. Go with these Caesars odds. Where you at, Cousins INT? Where you at? A lot of stuff in here. Total. Oh, it's minus 105. Boom. We're adding that. 10th pick. Cousins INT, yes, minus 105. I can't believe it's minus 105. I think this is going to be a little bit like that NFC divisional round playoff game last year, again, where Minnesota went to San Francisco, and the Niners jumped on him early, rattled him, and made him look terrible. I don't think he's going to play that poorly, but I think they're going to get on him today, and he's going to make a lot of key mistakes. I think they're going to be very aggressive with Kirk Cousins. I think Tampa Bay's coming out to send a message. I told you, if Tampa Bay gets beat today, financially, I might not be back here in the afternoon. We might just be done with the stream because I'm on Tampa Bay every way imaginable. So there we go. That's the end of the props. I'll recap this all at the end. 3. All right, so I got to adjust that because Green Bay went up to 9. Oh, my God. It's at 9.5 at some places now. Oh, my God, did the Packers get a ton of money here late. Okay. So teaser number 1, Tampa Bay -1 and New Orleans -2. And I want to make sure that's still legit, that those prices are right. Oh, actually, New Orleans is down to 1.5. Some Eagle money coming in late. 6-point teaser, Tampa -1, Saints -1.5. I've already given you all the reasons for Tampa. With the Saints, they are top 7 defensively in sacks, takeaways, total defense, scoring defense. In addition, the Eagles are playing Jalen Hurts at quarterback today. They're starting him. You're going to start a rookie second rounder in his first game ever against one of the best defenses in the league. All right, great decision, Philadelphia. Number 3, Philly's one of the most undisciplined teams in the NFL. I think they're like 29th and 30th in turnover differential. They're top 10 in penalties committed. Those are the 2 categories I always look at when it comes to discipline: penalties and turnovers. And the Eagles have been terrible with both. I don't care that Hurts is getting the start today. I don't care about all this. Locker room's very excited. Okay, great. I think the one reason you might be seeing some Philly money coming in is that this is an outdoor game. The Saints have Kansas City on deck. Taysom Hill isn't necessarily an explosive quarterback in the passing game, and Philly ranks tied for 5th in opponent yards per play. It's probably the best defense. You could argue Denver. It's probably the best defense that Hill has played, and he's facing him on the road. This is not Atlanta. So I can see why people would want to get involved there. We're just coming in on the teaser. We just basically need to win the game. -1.5. So we're going Tampa -1, Saints -1.5. That's our first teaser. Our second play the Chiefs. I don't think Tua has the firepower. The Dolphins running back unit is depleted. Gaskins and Breida are both out for today. Tua's completion percentage and yards per attempt average are bottom in the NFL. Not very good, like 25th or worse for both those things. I don't think you're going to be able to keep up with Kansas City. They've got a good defense. I know the Chiefs have the Saints on deck. That's why I don't want to lay the big number. I just want to lay the 1.5. Kansas City -1.5, Tampa -1. That's teaser number 2. And then teaser number 3, we're going to tease Tennessee from 7.5 down to 1.5. They're playing Jacksonville. So again, we're just trying to win that game. And the partner for that was going to be Green Bay, but I'm not teasing them anymore that they've got up to 9.5. So we're just going to throw the Saints in that one as well. Saints -1.5 for all the reasons they laid out. So here are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10 picks for today. 10-pack. Tampa -7. Giants +3. So it's Tampa -7 over Minnesota. Giants +3 over the Cardinals. Indy -2.5 over the Raiders. 4 props for you. Kyler Murray under 34.5 rushing yards. Andy Dalton, yes, to throw an interception. Kirk Cousins, yes, to throw an interception. Kirk Cousins under 276.5 passing yards. And then 3 teasers. Buccaneers -1 with Saints -1.5. Saints -1.5 with Titans -1.5. Chiefs -1.5 with Buccaneers -1. That's it. Any questions? Anything from the people? Any questions on any games I didn't talk about? Would be happy to discuss. If not, we can get ready to really get it in. To really get it in here. 10 picks. This is going to be this is going to be a big one. Big one today. Any questions? Any questions? Just take Green Bay first half, Joe. They're a good first half team. Don't disagree. Green Bay ranks number 1 in the NFL in points scored on the road. I can't believe that I got all the way up to 9.5 like that. Look at that. Any other crazy moves here since we've been talking? Doesn't look like it. My God, is Seattle going to get to 17? Probably by the afternoon when people start chasing. Charger money coming in like crazy. Little Eagle money here late. Are you worried about the public on Tampa Bay with no line movement? No, that's one game. This is an eye test game for me. There are a lot of times with most of these games where I'm studying line moves, trying to figure out where the pros are, possibly trying to tail them, possibly trying to pick my spots, right? That game has nothing to do with Tampa Bay, has nothing to do with anything other than what I've seen and what I anticipate. I haven't looked at anything from anybody or talked to anybody about that game at all. That's just the game. I love that game. I love Tampa off the bye here. I think you got a situation where some people are hesitant with Tampa because the last times we've seen them, the Rams and the Chiefs were handling them. And we've seen the Saints handle them as well, right? So they go on the bye, they disappear. And then people are talking about the Vikings like, man, the Vikings are coming on strong. I don't think the Vikings are good. I just don't. I think they're okay. I don't think they're terrible. But the defense is 21st or worst in a lot of key categories. All right. The teams they're beating on this run are not good. It took overtime to get by Jacksonville. They beat Carolina. They beat Detroit. They beat Chicago. They're not beating heavy hitters. That's the thing. I don't think Minnesota is as good as some believe. I think Tampa's a lot better coming into today than anyone's given them credit for. I think the recency bias is a major factor in this game. That's why I'm so big on them. I'm not worried about public movement, sharp movement. I'm not worried about any of that shit. I'm all over Tampa. Love Tampa today. Opinion on Titans, Jacksonville over under. Abby, you always love asking about those totals. Let's see. 52.5. Tennessee's defense is not great. Mike Glennon at quarterback. Jacksonville could score some points here. Tennessee should have no problem scoring. Tennessee, look, I think it's one of the top rules. You don't bet unders with the Titans. Since Ryan Tannehill took over at quarterback, overs are covering at a ridiculous clip. Again, it happened last week against the Browns, no problem. So if anything there, it's an over. I can't play unders when it involves the Titans. I can't. Totals are your specialty? Give us a total. What's your favorite total today? The over, a lot of people on that stuff as well. I'm worried about public with no line movement. Yeah, we already talked about that one. Bears get crushed again. Wouldn't be surprised if the Bears shock the world. Wouldn't be surprised. I don't like that game at all, but Houston be laying points on the road. The Bears suck right now. I mean, no doubt. But who's Houston laying a point on the road? If Chicago can get the running game going, I mean, you don't want Trubisky throwing. The problem in Chicago is the quarterback. Houston's run defense stinks. Run the ball, play defense, win the game. That could be an under. Where's that at? 46? That could be an under. Miami versus Kansas City over. All right, Abby. Miami versus Kansas City over. Good luck. Over 51. Good luck to you. All right, that's a wrap. Good session. I feel like therapy as I just stare into this webcam and speak to people I've never met. But you're all beautiful people. You should know that. Sharp money on football team per Doug. Is that Washington? Is that what we're talking about? That wouldn't surprise me. Washington's been playing really well. Surprised more people don't like them today after watching them just absolutely annihilate. Not annihilate, but come back to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still have a Green Bay -8. Should I tease? Yeah, that's a good number because 8 can come down to 2, and that moves you through the key numbers of 7, 4, and 3. That's the point. If it's at 9, you're teasing down onto 3. That's not a spot you want to be in. Teasers want to go through 2 key numbers at least. 3 and 7 are the most key numbers. So if you find a team that's +2 somewhere, like right now, for example, Atlanta is +2 at some spots against the Chargers. You can tease that up to +8. That's not a bad spot to be in with Atlanta. Conversely, you want to be able to bring it down. The Raiders being +2.5, you can tease that up to 8.5. That's a good tease as well when you're going up. When you're coming down, you want to move through 7 and through 3. You don't want to land on 3. So once it gets to 9 for Detroit, that's why I backed out. But if you have 8 or 8.5, you can tease it inside of 3. It's a good spot. All right. Good stuff. That's it. Thank you, guys. I will see you this afternoon. Whenever that last afternoon game goes final, we're going live to preview Steelers-Bills. But until then, good luck. Subscribe to the stream if you don't mind. Let's get this up to 1,000 subscribers so I can start using my phone and my iPad again, make life a little easier. Like I said, every time I ask, it's a selfish plea 100%. I'm not asking in any benefit for anyone other than myself so that the stream can be a little bit easier. Have a great day. Good luck. No shirt change midday. Let me tell you something. If these picks stink, there's a good chance they could. We're changing shirts. That's that. All right, everyone. Go get them. See you this afternoon.